on the scene clean. All these haters, they really tryna be weak. I'm thinking, how can it defeat me? If I'm strong on the low and they meet me. Jordan drop fire and BZ. If you wait, know that my name is Nemi. I get lit and I ain't gonna regret it. More power is about to get hit.
Don't look at my wrist. Or you go blind, you taking a risk. I'm filthy rich. You know that I'm the shit and you pissed. I'm making them sick. I look for the ups, I had on my list. They cannot resist. He's trying to escape, but I give him the biz. The Saints gon' sit on the throne. These dogs ain't getting no bone. They gon' bring me the diamonds and gold. I'm a floss cause I'm in my zone. The Saints gon' sit on the throne. These dogs ain't getting no bone. They gon' bring me the diamonds and gold. I'm a floss cause I'm in my zone.
Yo, man, what's up? Why they keep playing with the team?
I don't know, man.
They ain't know that we dream team?
I guess not.
Let's go. Yo, stop playing. Stop let them know.
Let's go.
My whip be a horse, no Rory. I'm switching the lanes, no Tory. So hot, just call me Safari. I'm ice out, look at the glory. My ops don't bow before me. Talk shit, then it's gonna be gory. Road dogs pulled up with a big strap. Real killers so cold, I ain't sorry. Me and BZ know we go way back. In the basement, whipping the playback. Mistakes I done pay for my sins, though. Took L's, now I'm coming for payback. These rats better know I don't play that. All the shit they talk, get traced back. Excalibur, look how I slay that. Like bad boy, take that. For all you haters out there, I know you wanted me to fall, but Elohim got my back. I'm strapped, and I'm strapped, and I'm Dream team be rowdy. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my hitters confounded. My weapon to shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it. Hey, my team rowdy. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my hitters confounded. My weapon to shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it.
And they shook. Look, just because I'm reading out the book, I don't know how much bodies I done took.
I lost count.
All I know, your pastor about to get cooked.
Cookie.
Lie, look. Dream team when we come for the kill. It's the best, we don't care how you feel. Got bombers, but yo, don't test us. Cause we coming down with the wheel. We really bout it for real. From beginning to covenant seal. With the rest of we can't even chill. With the skirts that'll come with a meal. We ain't looking for a meal. We just looking for the servants. We just looking for the chosens. The one that you plotting to kill.
We pulling up to the scene. Boots too clean. 12 shots, watching him lean. Dream team bringing this steam. Pastor V. Run to John 3:16.
Payback and we sending the bill. Woe to the pastors that kill. Woe to the ones that scatter the sheep. Drinking a cup in this field. Bitches, the hunters a thrill. You already know the drill. Real prophets, we back in the field. With the sword moving ill.
My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my hitters confounded. My weapon to shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it. Hey, my team rowdy. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my hitters confounded. My weapon to shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it.
We bout to come for your pastor. Hit him up like a natural disaster. Got the ultimate weapon for war, and I call it a doctrine blaster. You a coon and you love your master. When you teach, you be skipping the chapters. Got the rock and I'm doing the will. slap you.
You ain't keeping the law, you ain't spiritual. All these demons, they wanna get physical. Got a surgery, blade like a medic. All these lie getting cut like umbilicals. All these lie getting cut, they pathetic. We the army of God, yeah, I said it. Tell the pastor, pull up, he could get it. Got a heavy sheet, I'ma shred it. Get past it, they greedy. They better know who we be. You gon' lose if you banking on TD. Got them scared and they watching like TV. Cry loud, I ain't spend no feelings. Pull a low, I'ma show him what sentence. Show you how to spot a ghost prophet. Cause we about the law business.
Gino, we know. Whoa. You were talking like Debo. Hold on. When the purpose around the block, couldn't find him like Nemo. Gino, we know that you got a big ego. You say you wanted a spiritual war, then you hide behind people. You call us a Ku Klux Klan. You said we a purple gang. You said that I wanted. But I'm making these scriptures bang. We blitz in the Christian church. We hitting them up where it hurts. It's a burial for your doctrine. We bringing them out in a hurt.
Rowdy. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past the head, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my head is confounded. My weapon is shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it. Hey, my team rowdy. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price on your past the head, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my head is confounded. My weapon is shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it. I'm calling all soldiers. Let's go. Wake your ass up. Wake up. Wake your ass up. Wake your ass up. I ain't taking no naps. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16-11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. Hey, on the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Steps going up. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16-11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. On the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Scripts going up.
Well, a script, he gon' flip like an acrobat. Give him a cardiac, he caught a heart attack. He got the facts like under a snapper cap. We got the fire, we be the battle axe. Saints is back and we came for the throne. I put my sword to the back of your dome. I'm getting laughter off your disaster, making these bastards give up the ghost.
Cause we getting active. Keep talking your shit and it's gonna get tragic. My God, he got tactics. Give him an hour, he gonna do damage. Flex. Right arm, demons crippin' with the lights on. Bunch of wolves and pythons. My sin like an iron. We shot down the eagle, gathered the people, whipping in shape. They feeling so feeble. Stars of the movie ain't talking no regal. Turn the king, better get with the sequel. This ain't the time to be evil. Pray to my God, I was there for the prequel. Bringing that fire straight to your liars. Toast that boy up like a churro.
Yeah, we put in the work, ain't no time out. We done a lot of this work, so we bring it out. When we hit up the streets, we coming to preach. Disrespect, I'm unleashing the beast, state war mode. Scriptures cutting like a Brenda. When we swinging the sword, the demons they fear, they turn around and surrender. When Christ is turning straight vengeance, evicting all of you tenants, he's saving his people that came from the trenches and giving us planets and all of the riches. We taking the kingdom, destroying the wicked. You reap what you sow, so it's gonna get hectic. This movie is ending, about time for the credits. Offending your brother, you better just dead it or get him beheaded. The scriptures
I ain't taking no naps. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16-11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. On the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Steps going up. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16-11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. On the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Scripts going up. I can't sleep. Got wolves on the kill my sheep. Boy, crazy. You don't want smoke, you don't want heat. Wanna write checks? Can't cash that. Jesse, I got receipts. My warfare so unique. Got the hit squad, you know we deep. How you gon' pull up for war but a woman controlling the narrative? Y'all niggas weak. Hey, trust me, your future look bleak. Thank you for turning against me, cause that doesn't prove me. I keep making tweaks. Busy, I'm out of the streets. Y'all still writing tweets? Shit. Everybody shook when I clap. Back, my enemies gotta retreat. Petty like word. They don't know who they accusing. Got bombs and I ain't even use it yet. I made a sword out of music. Gotta do it. When I strike, these devils gon' lose it. That Trump car was a doozy. Tryna damage the way people view me. Joe. They shooting they shots back to back. You don't know you can't step to a guy with a Uzi. Little boy, this good over evil. I'ma talk once after that ain't no sequel. Right. My weapon is lethal. It's about time I go hunt for a weasel. Hey. This for the people. Fight off these demons coming for the feeble. My weapon is lethal. It's about time I go hunt for a weasel. Hey. 11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with a slap. Hey, on the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Scripts going on. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16, 11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with a slap. Hey, on the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Scripts going on. Boom.
You are now live.
Wartime is a mission. Play your role, play position. Doing more than just march. Power up, now it's blitzing. See the armies in the distance. Lying thunder, hearing voices. Black boots making noises for the anointed. Purple rain, when he rain. Put in work, put in pain. Read the script, make it plain. Ain't playing no games. Only gods on earth can remain. Fear the shackles and the chains. Do this for the Lord, staying revenge on the brain. Captains, deacons, bishops, you don't want them to get in that mode. Word burning in our souls, now you see purple gold on the road. Narrow path of direction, spirit work with aggression. Hate the sin, hate oppression. Keep hating, give us blessings. Want the spirit, I'ma teach you a lesson. Gotta get back to the basics, know what's on your foundation. If you building up this nation, praying fast on a day-to-day basis. IUIC got that vision like LASIK.
Boots marching a steady rhythm. We on go for our freedom, not putting in another prison. Bro, on goals that we going with them. Fighting demons, we forcing them out like an exorcism. And they see how we blowing up. Getting older and wiser, just see how we growing up. See sick, yeah, they throwing up. Man, they watch how we move it, can't hold their composure up. We going berserk and we slaying yo doctors like you getting murked. We gon' teach them the truth. They gon' know that you not it. We really don't care if you mad and you hurt. Don't copy the movement. You see that we hit the diaspora. Learn that when people are thirst. 24/7, 365. Oh yeah, right, you putting that work. Like this Bible a weapon. I'm with all the stuff and these witches are making them frantic. We ain't spinning your block, we spinning this. Word from the sun that we preach that landing. I ain't giving my love to this word for no diamonds and pearls. I ain't getting romantic. Immortal the goal, so we tune out the rate and we ain't gonna stop till the kingdom is granted. To the gods.
That was smoke with the gods. The prophets is back and we bringing that fire. This kingdom, we bringing it down. We yelling out wartime already. We putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town. When we come around, they don't make it sound. Yeah. That was smoke with the gods. The prophets is back and we bringing that fire. This kingdom, we bringing it down. We yelling out wartime already. We putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town. When we come around, they don't make it sound.
Yeah. It's heat in the street. 400 degrees in the street. Look for a dash in the chop from the bottom to top like a tree in the street. Lying in the way of peace in the street. Them Jews been out on the hunt. Better move, they looking for lunch. No suckers ain't come for the stunts. They kicking them scriptures, we come for the punch. These Christians just drinking the punch. Jim Jones been alone with the dry bones, so we crossing them time zones. Gotta wake up, Jake. Even the one from State Farm. This truth got reached, that's 8 arms. The prophets is coming, just wait for 'em. This word like fire, this stay palm. Set your city ablaze. You should be amazed.
Test, test. Hey, shalom, shalom, Israel. Let's rise and face Jerusalem. Men of Israel, blow trumpet. Trumpet down. O Lord, creator of all things, who are fearful and strong and righteous and merciful, the only and gracious King, the only giver of all things, the only just, almighty, and everlasting, thou that delivers Israel from all trouble, and didst choose the fathers and sanctify them. Receive the sacrifice for thy whole people Israel, and preserve thy own portion, and sanctify it. Gather those together that are scattered from us. Deliver them that serve amongst the heathen. Look upon them that are despised and abhorred, and let the heathen know that thou art our God. Punish them that oppress us, and with pride do us wrong. Plant thy people again in thy holy place, as Moses had spoken. In the name of our Lord Jesus the Christ, amen. All right, shalom, 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 Israel. Most High Christ bless. Officer Benaniah, IUIC Tupelo, Mississippi camp. We're going to be holding down daily bread this morning. Before we get started, we're going to read our disclaimer. Let's get it.
We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
All praise, all praises. All right. So y'all see the name of the class this morning. It is called Why Do We Sin? Why Do We Sin? But before we get into the class, I do want to address that today is King Day. All praise to the Most High. I got the day off. All praise. But you know, when Esau talk about Martin Luther King, they always want to play the I have a dream speech. But why they don't know play this speech right here? Give this interview right here. Give me that video from YouTube that I sent you. Put it up. They always want to play the dream. Little white boys and black boys and girls get together and have a good time and everything, but they don't never play what Dr. King said before he died in an interview. Got me? All right, put that up for me. Bear with us, Israel. Come on, YT. All right, play that. No sound. Run it back.
Came as an immigrant somehow. What is it about the Negro? I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
White America must
Pause. You hear what Esau said? He said, what is it about the Negro? All the other groups came over here and they was able to make it or whatever. But he said, what is it about the Negro? Well, the difference between them and us, we're the Israelites. And the judgments of God is on us. Watch this. Give me that in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 29. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 29. Real quick before we get into the class.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
You hear what God said about us? The Esau was like, well, what is it about the Negro? God said we weren't going to prosper in our ways. Read on.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore.
You see that? We were going to be oppressed and spoiled evermore. So I think Dr. King was figuring this out toward the end because he said, you know, he's led his people into a burning building. Now, go back to the video real quick.
White America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma. America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base.
Paul, you hear what he said? Now, you know, when they talk about us, they be like, hey, look, you know, we worked hard for this. We worked hard for this land. Y'all just lazy. Y'all don't work. Listen what King said. They was giving Esau millions and millions of acres for free. I forgot what the name of that thing was called. I think it was in 1800 or something. They was giving them free land. I forgot the name of it though. All right, go back to the video.
Peasants from Europe an economic base, and yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps. But it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes...
Paul, you hear what he say? He say it's a cruel thing to say to a bootless man. A bootless man. They say, lift yourself. You got to work hard. They always tell us that. You got to work hard I worked hard. My grandma worked hard for 400 years and all that garbage. But in reality, the U.S. government was giving out land. You know, they never had to go through all of the atrocities that we went through as a nation of people here in America. Okay, give me that other one. I think it's the same video, but it gets right to the point about he has led his people in a burning building. It's TikTok. It's from the same interview, but it gets right to the point because I'm going to jump right on into the class. All right? You got that? Come on. Where we at?
That dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, I'm not one to lose hope. I keep on hoping. I still have faith in the future. But I've had to analyze many things over the last few years, and I would say over the last few months. I've gone through a lot of soul-searching and agonizing moments. And I've come to see that we have many more difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism. And I think the realistic fact is that we still have a long, long way to go, and that we are involved in a war on Asian soil.
Hey, pause. Hey, where is that what he said left? Did I miss it already? What it says, he's led his people into a burning building. Did I miss it? He ain't said it yet? Okay, go back to the video. I might have missed it, yo.
Not checked and stopped can poison the very soul of our nation. I'm not going to say that all of our problems will be solved if the war in Vietnam is ended, but I do say that the war makes it infinitely more difficult to deal with these problems. When a nation becomes obsessed with the guns of war, it loses its social perspective, and programs of social uplift suffer. This is just a fact of history.
Okay. I think I missed it, bro. I think he said it at the beginning. But anyway, my point was, sorry that Israel. My point was that Esau always playing the dream. Every year they had the what's the brother name? Stevie Wonder song, "Happy Birthday to Ya," and they always say, you know, his dream, the dream. I remember as a kid, I think I was maybe in 5th grade. I had this Edomite music teacher, and she had us singing "The Dream of Martin Luther King." You know, so Esau always talking about the dream, but in reality, they didn't want that. They ain't never want that dream to happen, you know. So King figured that out toward the end. He said, look, I've led my people into a burning building. One thing King didn't understand, give me that in Habakkuk. Give me that in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. You gotta, now if the so-called white man who is Esau according to the Bible was a regular nation, you might could talk to him. But listen what God say. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
You see that? God say his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. So you're not going to be able to reason with a people like that when their soul is not upright in them, okay? It's all about war, okay? But hey, I just wanted to touch that for a second, y'all. We're going to jump into the title of the class, which is called Why Do We Sin? Why Do We Sin? So let's jump right into it. Give me what is sin. Give me 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 verse 4.
Bring it out.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Uh-huh.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
So whosoever commits sin transgress God's laws. Sin is the transgression of the law. Now, we read that scripture all the time, but that's some deep stuff right there, because you got to think, Christians don't understand that. They think they not sinning when they eating pig feet. They think they not sinning when they going to church on Sunday, worshiping the sun god. Okay, they think they not sinning. But God say sin is the breaking of God's laws. They don't think so. We read that scripture all the time, and we think is we take it for granted. We read it all the time. It's not deep, but it is deep to understand what is sin. Read again, soldier.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Uh-huh.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
So what do you get? So we all know this. What is the wages of sin? Give me that in Romans chapter 6, verse 23. So if you commit sin, you get wages for that, just like you go to work. If you go to work every day, you're looking for wages. You commit sin, you're going to get wages. Now listen to this. Read that.
Romans chapter 6, verse 23.
Uh-huh.
For the wages of sin is death.
So if you commit sin and you don't repent, the wages for that is death. That's it talking about the regular death that all of us got to go through. All of us got to die, right? Give me that Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 27. Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 27. So what death is it talking about? Hebrews chapter 9 verse 27.
Hebrews chapter 9 verse 27.
Uh-huh.
But as it is appointed unto men once to die.
You see that? It's appointed to all men once to die. So we ain't talking about that death. Watch this. Give me that. Did we finish that? Read on.
But after this, the judgment.
But after death is the judgment. Watch this. Give me that in Sirach. I want Sirach chapter 41 and verse 3. Sirach chapter 41 and verse 3.
The book of Sirach chapter 41 verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Fear not the sentence of death.
Read.
Remember them that have been before thee,
Uh-huh.
and that come after thee.
Read.
For this is the sentence of the Lord over all flesh.
You see that? So death, God said don't fear the sentence of death, because this is the sentence of that God has put on all flesh. So it ain't talking about that death right there. What is it talking about? Give me that in John chapter 5 verse 29. So the wages of sin is this total damnation. That's what Christ is talking about. That's what Paul was talking about in Romans chapter 6. It's total damnation. Read that. John chapter 5 verse 29.
John chapter 5 verse 29. And shall come forth they that have done good,
Mm-hmm.
unto the resurrection of life.
Then to the resurrection of life, if you keep the commandments, resurrection of life, read.
And they that have done evil,
Mm-hmm.
unto the resurrection of damnation.
You see that? Into the resurrection of damnation. So in Romans chapter 6, verse 23, the wages of sin is death. It's talking about total damnation. Watch this. Give me that in Revelation chapter 20. Revelation chapter 20 in verse 12 for me real quick. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God.
Read.
And the books were open.
And the books was open. Read.
And another book was open,
Mm-hmm.
which is the book of life.
Read.
And the dead were judged out of those things
Mm-hmm.
which were written in the books,
Read.
according to their works.
According to their works. So we all going to be judged. You all going to have to stand before the Lord and be judged according to your works. Skip down to read on.
Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And the sea gave up the dead which
Read.
were in it,
Read.
and death and hell delivered up the dead
Mm-hmm.
which were in them.
Read.
And they were judged every man according to their works.
Read on.
And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second death.
That's what it's talking about, that second death. That second death. Meaning you're going to be judged. You're going to die, and then you're going to be judged, okay? And then if you kept the commandments of God, everlasting life. If not, everlasting damnation. Read on, watch this.
Verse 15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Ah, so that's what it's talking about, being cast into that lake of fire. So we all know this. So why do we sin? Watch this, watch this. Give me that in 2 Ezra chapter 14 and verse 34. We all know it's a judgment coming, but we still sin. Why is that? 2 Ezra chapter 14 and verse 34.
The book of 2 Ezra chapter 14, verse 34.
Read it out.
Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive. And after death, ye shall obtain mercy.
You see that? After death, because it's appointed for all of us to die. But after death, we want that mercy. Read on.
For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again.
Read.
And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
So why do we sin? We all know this, right? We done read the scriptures. We know that it's a judgment for our sin, but yet and still you hear about all this sin. And why? I'm going to tell you why. Because it's pleasurable. Sin is pleasurable. Give me that in Hebrews chapter 11. Hebrews chapter 11 about Moses. I want Hebrews chapter 11 and start at 24. Hold on, let me get it real quick. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24. It's pleasurable. It's pleasurable. We like it. We in the flesh. We likes that. Okay, read that.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
Read.
Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
You see that? The pleasures of sin. The pleasures of sin. Guess what? It's fun. It's fun to holler at some hoes, right? It's fun. It's fun for you sisters to look at the great jogging pants. It's fun to whatever kind of sin you in. You know, you might be watching porn. It's fun to watch the porn, but it's evil, and you're going to be judged for it. Okay? Read that part again.
Verse 25, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God.
So Moses was born in Pharaoh's house. Moses came up in Pharaoh's house, rich, but he chose rather to suffer with the people of God. Read on.
Than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
To enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. So that's why we sin. It's pleasurable to us, but we got to mortify that thing. We got to mortify that. Watch this. Give me that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 9. Well, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 9 and verse 15. You in the flesh. You in the flesh. So guess what? Sin is pleasurable to you. Sin is pleasurable to you. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 9, verse 15.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 9, verse 15. For the corruptible body presseth down the soul.
You see that? The corruptible body presses down the soul. You know in your spirit, you know sin is wrong. But you in that flesh and it presses down. You know, you hear sisters talk about this. Oh, I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. I'm lonely. I'm lonely. You've been in the truth 3 years, no man. You know, you've been in the truth 3 years, no man. You used to getting the rod all the time in the world. So after a certain period of time, you convince yourself that surely God wants me to get the rod. You know, surely rod is too good not to get. Read again.
For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind.
You see that? The earthly tabernacles weigh you down. The earthly tabernacle, the body, the flesh you in, weigh you down and you commit sin. Okay, did we finish that?
No, sir.
Okay, read on.
That museth upon many things.
You see that? That uses on many things. Now give me that scripture in Hebrews. I want Hebrews chapter 3. And so as this flesh weigh you down, you don't mortify that member, and then that little bit of sin that starts in your mind, it'll trick you into thinking it's okay. Watch this. Give me that in Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 13. Hold on, let me get there. Bear with me, soldier. All right, read that for me.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 3, verse 13. But exhort one another daily, while it is called today,
Read.
lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
You see that? That's why we need to exhort one another. So if you ain't counseling, say if you are by yourself or whatever, and you battling certain things, it's good to counsel with somebody that understand what you're going through to get you through, unless you'll be, read that part again. Read it again, verse 13.
Verse 13, but exhort one another daily, while it is called today,
Read.
lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
You see that sin is deceitful. It could trick you, okay? If you open up if you let that little bit in, your mind switch and be like, hey, you know what? Surely the God don't want us to be alone. I need a man, okay? And then next thing you know, you in the world getting your back blowed out by men, okay? In the world. And your brothers, same thing with you. Next thing you know, surely God want me to have a woman. Next thing you know, you in the world hitting all type of holes, okay? Read again. Verse 13 one more time.
Verse 13, but exhort one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
Through the deceitfulness of sin. So that sin will trick you. Watch this. Give me that in Romans. Listen what Paul was saying. Give me that in Romans chapter 7. Hold on, let me get there. Romans chapter 7. And start at 22.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 22. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man, but I see another law in my members.
Hold on. First, before you get there, skip up to verse 7. Okay, Romans chapter 7 and verse 7.
Romans chapter 7, verse 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid.
So the law is not sin. God's laws is not sin. Read.
Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law.
You see that? How would you know sin if you don't know the law? You don't know you in sin, but by the law. You know.
For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
So guess what? Paul was dealing with lust. Okay. He said he didn't know he was in that sin, but till he learned the law. Okay. Skip down to verse, read on.
Verse 8. But sin, taking occasion by the commandment, wrought in me all manner of concupiscence. For without the law, sin was dead.
So without the law, sin was dead, meaning he didn't know. Okay. Without the law, he didn't know what he was battling. Okay, read on.
For I was alive without the law once. But when the commandment came, sin revived, and I died.
Read on.
And the commandment, which was ordained to life, I found to be unto death.
Read on.
For sin, taking occasion by the commandment, deceived me, and by it slew me.
You see that? See that? What that sin will do? It'll deceive you. That sin will deceive you. If you, that's why the scripture say in Sirach 21, flee from sin. Because if you play with it, it'll deceive you. And next thing you know, we'll see you with an ugly Christmas sweater on. You know, you was going hard in this truth. I seen a brother not long ago, man. I know that was going hard in the truth. And my rib showed me the picture of him on Facebook. Brother had on a Christmas sweater. I was like, dang, you know. This brother used to be on the street bringing it out. When I first came here, I used to see him going in. And then this past Christmas, I seen a brother with the reindeer outfit on. I was like, damn. Good Lord. Come on, IT. All right, where we at, bro?
We just finished verse 11.
Read 11 again.
Verse 11. For sin, taking occasion by the commandment, deceived me, and by it slew me.
And by it slew me. Skip down to verse 22.
Verse 22. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man.
Read.
But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind.
See that? That all of us got that law in our members, warring against our mind. You know, we in the flesh. We know, like brothers, you might battle looking at women, okay? You know it's wrong to look at her, but in your mind, your mind saying, man, that thing look good. You know, that's that law of your mind warring against your memory. You know you shouldn't be looking, but you scrolling on that phone and ain't nobody around, and you looking. Now the phone turned all like this. And sisters the same way. Ain't nobody around, and you looking at the jogging pads. You all like that. All right. Read it again, Soldier. Where we at?
Verse 23.
Uh-huh.
But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind,
Read.
and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members.
You see that stuff you battling in your mind will bring you to the law of sin. Next thing you know, you on the hunt now. You done got in the car. You looking for some hoes. You see what I'm saying? Because you didn't mortify that thing. You didn't mortify. You gotta mortify that. Paul is saying he was battling right here. He was battling. The old man was battling. Was that like they say in Wisdom of Solomon, that earthly body is pressing against the soul. Okay, verse 24.
Verse 24. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death?
Read.
I thank God through Jesus Christ our Lord. So then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh, the law of sin.
Okay, so in the flesh, you'll serve the law of sin. You got to mortify that thing. Watch this. Give me that in Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 5.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. Mortify therefore your members, which are upon the earth.
You see that? Mortify your members. Whatever you battling in your flesh, you got to mortify that thing. You got to suppress. You got to kill it. Now, did I send you a screenshot of mortify? Maybe I didn't. I ain't gonna worry. Can you Google mortify for me? Yeah. Let's see, what does mortify mean? All of us have to do that. We have to mortify that thing that's bothering us, that flesh that we battling. Have to mortify that thing. If you like to be a whore, you got to mortify. I like number 2. It says subdue the body or its need and desires. You see that? By self-denial or discipline. That's what we got to do. You got to mortify that thing. If you like porn, guess what? You got to mortify. You got to plug it out. Maybe you need to get rid of your internet. I don't know. You know, get some counsel on that thing. You know, if you hanging out with worldly family members, you might need to come from around them family members, you know, because they might keep you in all type of evil. They gonna keep you in all type of evil. Ain't no might in it. They gonna keep you in all type of evil. Okay, read verse 5 again.
Verse 5. Mortify therefore your members, which are upon the earth.
Read.
Fornication.
You got to mortify that. Read.
Uncleanness.
Because we love fornication. It's fun, right? It's pleasurable. Fornication is pleasurable. But you can't do that if you want the kingdom. Read on.
Uncleanness. Inordinate affection.
Read.
Evil concupiscence. And covetousness, which is idolatry.
Read on.
For which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience.
You see that? The wrath, if you continue in those things, the wrath of God will come upon you. So you have to mortify that flesh that's causing you to want to sin. Okay, you got to kill it. You got to kill that old man. All right? Give me that in 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 27. 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 27. Whatever you battling. Some of us battling all type of stuff. But the most thing we see in the body here is fornication. You know, some kind of sexual sin. That's the biggest thing we see here. Now, I'm sure it's all type of evil going on, but that's the biggest thing right there, fornication. You'll have a brother in the body been slamming hams, as they say, been slamming hams with a sister for years, and sat there on the Sabbath and don't say nothing. That's some evil stuff right there. Okay, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. Bring it out. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection.
Read again.
But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection.
That's what we got to do. You got to bring your body into subjection. Bring your body into subjection. Like some of you brothers might be addicted to the lotion. Brothers might be addicted to the lotion. You got to bring your body into subjection. Bring your body into subjection. Don't be, you got to, when you feel that urge to want to watch the porn, you gotta subdue that thing. You gotta bury it. You can't give your body what it wants. Okay? Read again.
But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
Well, you see what Paul was saying? He had to bring his body into subjection because he out here teaching, and yourself, you'll be a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? You'll be a castaway because you didn't bring your body into subjection. Now, watch this. Give me that in 2 Samuel, 2 Samuel chapter 11 and verse 2 about David. When David saw Bathsheba, 2 Samuel chapter 11 and verse, hold on, let me get this, soldier. 11 and start at verse 2.
The book of 2 Samuel chapter 11 verse 2.
Bring it out.
And it came to pass in the evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house.
Read.
And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon.
So what should David have done right there? He saw Bathsheba over there on the rooftop washing herself. You know what you should have did? You know what David should have did? He should have turned away his eyes like Job said. Hold that right there. Give me that in Job. Give me that in Job chapter 31. Job chapter 31. Is it 1? All right, read that for me. But guess what? He didn't turn away his eye. So guess what? When you don't mortify that thing and don't turn away your eyes, guess what you're gonna do? My eyes, your sin start with your eyes. You see it and you want it. All right, read it.
Job chapter 31 verse 1.
Bring it out.
I made a covenant with mine eyes.
Read.
Why then should I think upon a maid?
You see that? I'm sure David knew this law right here. Make a covenant with your eyes. Don't look upon a maid. Read on.
For what portion of God is there from above? And what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Is not destruction to the wicked?
You see that? So he's saying, you hear what Job's saying? What portion am I going to get if I look at these maids? Okay. What portion am I going to get? Now, in Babylon the Great, is hard not to look at women because they everywhere. But you gotta mortify that thing. You gotta bear that, not to look at them. Okay. Now go back to David in 2 Samuel chapter 11. Read verse 2 again.
2 Samuel chapter 11 verse 2. And it came to pass in the evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house.
Read.
And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon.
So he messed up right there. The woman was very beautiful to look upon. He didn't turn away his eyes. So guess what he gonna do? Read on.
Verse 3. And David sent and inquired after the woman.
See, now there you go. You didn't turn away your eyes. Now you sinning for it. Like, hey, what's up? What's going on with you? But if you'd have turned away your eyes, you wouldn't be sinning for them. Okay? Just like some of you sisters, if you turn away your eyes from the great jogging pants, it won't be getting so deep in your mind and getting mesmerized. You want to see what's in the pants now. Then next thing you know, legs like this. Next thing you know, you like, but all because you didn't mortify that. You didn't suppress that thing. Okay, where we at?
Verse 3.
Read on.
And David sent and inquired after the woman.
Read.
And one said, Is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?
So he knew the woman was married. David knew the woman was married. But did he stop there? because that your eyes, if he'd have turned away his eyes, he probably wouldn't have went after her. But he went after her headlong because she was very beautiful. She had to be bad too, you know.
And David sent messengers and took her,
Mm-hmm.
and she came in unto him,
Mm-hmm.
and he lay with her.
Oh, I'm sure she wanted to do it because it don't say nothing about she forced him. I mean, he forced her. So Bathsheba was evil as hell herself. You know, she wanted to do it too. She seen the man, he a powerful man. So she attracted to that power too. Read on.
For she was purified from her uncleanness,
Read on.
and she returned unto her house.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child.
Now, bro, this sounds like some Moorish stuff. It's some Moorish stuff right here, ain't it? David didn't hit it. Now he done got the woman pregnant. Got the married woman pregnant. Dang. You know.
And David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did.
You see that? Man, that's some evil stuff right there. Somebody hitting your wife, and you don't even know it. And a lot of that stuff happened in the world today. The brother that's hitting your wife know you don't know him. He tearing your wife up, tearing her up, destroying her, murdering her. You know?
And how the people did, and how the war prospered.
Now he up there making small talk. How was the war? How's everything going? Knowing you just got through destroying my wife. That's some evil stuff right there, bruh. You know?
And David said to Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king.
So look, he trying to, now all he had to do is turn away his eyes from the beauty of a woman, like Job said. But he didn't do that. So he went in, and now he getting into all type of other sin, all type of evil. Read on.
But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house.
Read.
And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down unto his house, David said unto Uriah, camest thou not from thy journey? When thou didst thou not go down unto thine house?
Read on.
And Uriah said unto David, the ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields.
Read.
Shall I then go into mine house to eat and drink and to lie with my wife?
So you hear Uriah? This brother was down. This brother was loyal. And David was tearing his wife up, man. That's some evil stuff. That's some evil stuff right here. He said, what, I supposed to go home and eat and lay with my wife when my brother's at war? No, I ain't doing that. Read on.
As thou livest, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing.
Read.
And David said to Uriah, tarry here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee depart.
Read.
So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at even he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord.
So that didn't work the first time. So now David called the man back, got him drunk. He wanted him to go lay with his wife. This is some Maury stuff. This is some Ricky Lake stuff. How many of y'all remember Ricky Lake? It's a Ricky Lake stuff right here. What's the other dude? Old talk show. Donahue. Y'all, you got to be over 40 to remember Donahue. And you millennials are like, what is that? What is that? What is Ricky Lake? All right, where we at, bro?
The bottom of 13.
Okay, read it from the top again. I'm sorry.
Verse 13. And when David called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at even he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord's house.
Read.
And went not down to his house.
Read.
And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah.
Read.
And he wrote in the letter, saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die.
You see that? Now, just because he ain't turned away his eye, now it's turning into murder. You see that? He tried to scheme, tried to get him to lay with his wife. to make like it's his baby. He gonna say, well, you lay with her, that's your baby, you know. But now since he went lay with his wife, he gonna kill the brother.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Murder, you know.
Verse 16, and it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that he assigned Uriah unto a place where he knew that valiant men were.
Read.
And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also.
You see that? Now the brother dead. So David had the brother killed because he didn't want this thing to be found out that he had his wife pregnant. That's some evil stuff right here. Then, if you read the history on, he went on and took the brother's wife. Now watch this. Okay, skip down to verse 25.
Verse 25, then David said unto the messenger, thus shalt thou say unto Joab, let not this thing displease thee, for the sword devoureth one as well as another. Make thy battle more strong against the city, and overthrow it, and encourage thou him. And when the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when the morning was past, David sent and fetched her to his house. And she became his wife, and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord.
You see that? That thing displeased the Lord. And of course, David was judged. When you finish reading, I think the son died, okay, because of that evil that David had done. All right, now, give me the book of Susanna. The book of Susanna. We don't. So you got to mortify that thing. You got to turn away your eyes. If David would have turned away his eyes, it probably wouldn't have went into all of that right there. Okay, Susanna, start at the book of Susanna, verse 1.
The history of Susanna, verse 1. There dwelt a man in Babylon called Joachim, and he took a wife whose name was Susanna, the daughter of Chelcias, a very fair woman, and one that feared the Lord. Her parents also were righteous and taught their daughter according to the law of Moses.
Read on.
Now Joachim was a great rich man, and had a fair garden, joining unto his house, and to him resorted the Jews, because he was more honorable than all others.
Read.
The same year were appointed two of the ancient of the people to be judges, such as the Lord spake of, that wickedness came from Babylon from ancient judges, who seemed to govern the people.
Read on.
These kept much at Joachim's house, and all that had any suits in the law came unto them.
Read on.
Now when the people departed away at noon, Susanna went into her husband's garden to walk, and the two elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed toward her.
You see that? Now these two elders saw Susanna. Susanna was a beautiful woman, okay? These two judges of the people seen Susanna in the garden washing herself, okay? Did they turn away their eyes? No, they didn't mortify. They didn't mortify that thing, okay? Both of them was evil as hell, okay? Read verse 8 again.
Verse 8, and the two elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed toward her. And they perverted their own mind, and turned away their eyes.
So what they do? They perverted their own mind and turned away their eyes from the law. They turned away their eyes from the law, just like David did. He knew the law was saying don't look upon a maid, but he turned away his eyes from the law, and then bam, it turned into adultery and murder. Okay, read on.
That they might not look unto heaven, nor remember just judgments.
Read on.
And albeit they both were wounded with her love, yet durst not one show another his grief.
Read.
For they were ashamed to declare their lust.
So they were ashamed because they knew it was evil. Read on.
That they desired to have to do with her.
Read.
Yet they watched diligently from day to day to see her.
So now they obsessed with the sister. They watching from day to day. They over there looking at the woman from day to day, showing up, watching her. Read on.
And one said to the other, let us now go home, for it is dinner time. So when they were gone out, they parted the one from the other, and turning back again, they came to the same place.
Read.
And after that, they had asked one another the cause. They acknowledged their lust. Then appointed they a time both together when they might find her alone.
You see that now? Now they really getting evil just because they didn't turn away their lust. Now they both were supposed to be went home for dinner, and then next thing you know, both of them see each other coming back. Like, hey, what you back for? What you back for? Hey man, hey man, I was looking at Susanna. The other brother like, man, I was looking at her too. So look, let's both hook up and look at her at this time. That's some evil stuff. That's some evil stuff right there. These men judges of the law. Okay. Verse 15.
Verse 15. And it fell out, as they watched a fit time, she went in as before, with 2 maids only. And she was desirous to wash herself in the garden, for it was hot.
Read.
And there was nobody there save the 2 elders that had hid themselves and watched her.
Hold up. Now, there's some evil stuff right here. You got 2 old men, judges, hiding behind the bushes, looking at the sister. Man, that's some evil stuff right there, bro. That's some evil. That's what that sin to do. It'll deceive you. The sin to deceive you so bad, now you hide behind the bushes, trying to look at somebody. The sin that then got you, that took over your body, now the sin is in overdrive. Now you hiding behind the bushes, peeping through the windows and stuff. Read on.
Verse 17. Then she said to her maids, bring me oil and washing balls, and shut the garden doors, that I may wash me.
So them wicked elders, they were waiting on her to get that oil and washing balls. That's some evil stuff, man. Read on.
And they did as she bade them, and shut the garden doors, and went out themselves at privy doors to fetch the things that she had commanded them.
Read.
But they saw not the elders, because they were hid. Now when the maids were gone forth, the 2 elders rose up and ran unto her, saying.
And now, so after the maids was gone, closed the door, they hop out the bush. That's some evil stuff, bro. Hop out the bushes. And what they say to Susanna? Read on.
Behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee.
And we in love with you. That lust had took over them. It was driving the body, okay, because they weren't following the commandments. Read on.
Therefore, consent unto us and lie with us.
Now he's saying, look, y'all, you come lie with both of us. If you don't lie with us, look, see what they're gonna do. Read on.
If thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee, that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee.
You see that now? Because they didn't turn away their eyes from Susanna, now they saying they're going to bear false witness against. Now it's going into all type of evil, trying to murder the sister. Read on.
Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side, for if I do this thing, it is death unto me.
Read.
And if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands.
Read.
It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord.
You see that? She said, look, it's better for me to not lay with y'all and die that way, okay, in the sight of the Lord. So what they do then? Read on.
With that, Susanna cried with a loud voice, and the 2 elders cried out against her. Then ran the one and opened the garden door.
Read.
So when the servants of the house heard the cry in the garden, they rushed in at a privy door to see what was done unto her. But when the elders had declared their matter, the servants were greatly ashamed. For there was never such a report made of Susanna.
Right. So now, if you finish reading, and we ain't gonna read the rest of it, but she didn't lay with the elders. They kind of had her own trial, and then I think it was Daniel? Daniel rose up, and then of course the elders got at the end. They got put to death for lying. They trying to kill her. Okay, give me that in Sirach chapter 21. Sirach chapter 21 and verse 2. Sirach chapter 21 and verse 2. Hold on, let me get there real quick. Sirach 21 and verse 2.
The book of Sirach, chapter 21, verse 2. Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent.
You see that? So guess what you got to do? You got to flee from that sin. Just like the elders saw Susanna, they knew where it was going. You got to flee from that. Mortify your members. Read on.
For if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee.
You don't want to play around with that sin because it's going to bite you.
The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion, slaying the souls of men.
Read.
All iniquity is as a two-edged sword, the wounds whereof cannot be healed.
You see that? All iniquity is like a two-edged sword. Like you might start off with a lie, but it might end up to something bigger. So it's best to not even play around with it. Okay, because the brothers didn't turn away their eyes from looking at the maids, then it turned into all type of evil. Okay, now go back to Colossians chapter 3. Back to Colossians chapter 3, and then we're gonna end it. Colossians chapter 3, and start at 5 again.
The book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection,
Read.
evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry.
Read.
For which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience.
Skip down to verse 12.
Verse 12. Put on therefore as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another, if any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye.
All right, so now skip over to, I want Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 22. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22.
The book of Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 22. That ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man.
You see that? If you was involved in all that evil back in the day, now you repented, you Israel, you repented. Now you can't play around with it. You gotta flee from sin as from the face of a serpent. Read on.
Which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust.
Read.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Read.
And that ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness.
You see that? Put on that new man, that new woman, okay? That's after God is in great holiness. You don't wanna play around with that sin because it'll turn into something else. I mean, one sin will turn into a bigger sin. Just like David, he went to looking at the sister, sinning, looking at her, and then that transformed into sinning for her. And then committing adultery with her, and then it turned into killing her husband. That's some evil stuff. All right, verse 25?
Yes, sir. Verse 25. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor.
Read.
For we are members one of another.
Read.
Be ye angry and sin.
That's all I wanted on that. I think I'm going to end it right there, Israel. So the name of the class, why do we sin? Because it's pleasurable. And that body is pressing against, that corruptible body is pressing against our soul. But how do you fix that? You got to apply the scriptures. One more thing. I'm going to show you something. Give me Matthew chapter 4. How did Christ fight that body? By applying the scriptures. I want Matthew chapter 4. And hold on real quick. I didn't write it down. But I just want to show you how to fight the flesh. Matthew chapter 4 and verse, start at verse 1.
Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
So Christ was being tempted of the devil. Read on.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said,
so now he's being tempted, right? He said, if you're the Son of God, I know you're hungry. Make these stones bread. But what did Christ do? How did he fight that temptation? Read that, verse 4.
But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone,
Read.
but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God.
You see that? So you got to, what scripture he was going to? He was quoting Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3 on fighting that temptation. All right, watch this. Skip down to, read on verse 5.
Verse 5. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
So how did Christ come back to this? Verse 7?
Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God.
See that? So how Christ was fighting the tempter is with the scriptures. That's how we got to do. We got to fight. So David, Saul, the sister washing herself, Bathsheba washing herself. Job 31 said, hey, look, don't look up on a maid. Sirach 9:5. Don't look up on a maid. I can't do that. I got to turn away my eyes. Watch this. Read on.
Verse 8, Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
So Satan said, look, all these things, I'm going to bless you with all these things. All you got to do is worship me. How did Christ respond? Read.
Then said Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
Now, I know a lot of y'all said, well, how can I fight? I mean, ain't nobody going through this, what I'm going through. Give me that in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. Is that the one that say, everything common to man? I read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
So guess what? Everything you going through, somebody else already going through it. How you fight that temptation, you got to apply the scriptures. Read on.
But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Read.
But will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
So that you got to ask yourself, okay, God said he going to make a way for me to escape. What's that way? A lot of time it could be counsel. Make sure you counsel with somebody that's got more experience than you, and apply the scriptures. Counsel, that person you counsel with could show you the scriptures that you need, and then you can get out of that situation. But with that, Israel, we're going to go ahead and end it. Do me a favor and everybody subscribe to IUIC Tupelo. IUIC Tupelo, we're trying to get our numbers up. So, hey, look us up on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube page. Also, check us out. We got a podcast that we release every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. It's called Kingdom of Priests. So make sure y'all check it out. We're going to release a new episode this Wednesday. It's called Kingdom of Priests. So we ask that you subscribe, like, and share the video, and all the rest of our social media platform. So yes, Wednesday, 3 o'clock. Check us out. Hit us up on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and we drop new videos every week. We drop new camp videos and classroom videos. So check us out, Israel. And with that, we're going to say shalom.